Evolution of the industry has changed to where record keeping is tremendously more important.
Made a new rule and everybody had to start keeping records.
Everything's documented.
In this video, we're going to talk about application records, how to easily convert a recommendation into an application record, and even show you some of the advanced features of our customized load sheets. Let's get started. So now we're down to the application details row. Now, there's a lot of information here. Before you get too intimidated, let's just take a step back, and we're going to go over just the basic required information of what's needed to put in an application detail. Then I'll come back and I'll show you some of the more advanced features if you're organizing work by blocks or applicator teams, or if you want to have individual load sheets printed out for the way you do work. Let's start with the basic function, the way that most people will keep their details. Details are very simple. All they are is, where did I spray that product? When did I do it? Who did it? And what was the environmentals? What was the temperature at the time? So let's take a look. Where I did it was already pulled over from the recommendation. I don't have to do anything if I'm just following the rec. If I want to change that, I just hit this green button here to bring up the application details window. Here I have all of my fields available to me, and I can choose which fields I want to spray. If I have a lot of fields that I'm working with, these handy filters up at the top allow me to sort by crop and variety and location. I can also add row and banding and even percentages if I want. This View Field button off to the side allows me to refer back to the My Account window where I set up my locations to see exactly what I have. I can even add, remove, change, and modify these fields all right here while I'm writing a record if I wanted to. Don't suggest you do it that way. I always suggest you go through the setup as we did so in the last videos. Once I've chosen or modified my selection here, I can hit Save and Close. In this example, perhaps I only sprayed my Rainier and Skylar Ray cherries on this day, and I'll come back and add my Lapins another day. Hitting Save and Close automatically updates the changes here in the detail. Now I can put the date back to when I sprayed, and then of course the time and date that I spray. We provide some defaults according to your preference. If you want to change those, you're welcome to. You can also use the Tab key and the up-down arrow keys to quickly move through this section. It's a little hint. It's much easier than moving through your mouse. Let's say I went ahead and I put on 800 gallons there. So I didn't get through all of my acres there. I only got through some of them. Perhaps maybe the wind came up and I wasn't able to finish that day. And my applicator, I just hit Tab and then I use the down arrow, and I can choose my applicator. I can also, of course, use the drop-down menu of my mouse and choose the applicator. Now, in this case, we have Bob, who's automatically associated to Tractor 2 and Sprayer 2. You can use the edit functions to change those associations if you don't have them configured the way that you'd like. In the video of how to set up equipment and applicators, we explain how that works. You can also adjust those preferences here in that window, just the same as you did in the setup. If I want to add multiple applicators at the same time, I could simply just add an applicator and choose the next guy in line. If I'm adding a lot of applicators at once, the Add Team button brings up a new window and allows me to choose multiple applicators at the same time and add them all at once, whichever is your preference. I can maintain hour information based on how much time each individual applicator was spraying, and that's very helpful for cholinesterase testing if required in your jurisdiction. Finally, I'm just going to put in the value of the temperature and the wind, make a few more designations here, and I'm done. That's all I need to do for my application detail. Where did I spray? Modify it if I need it by pressing this green button. When did I do it? How much did I put on? Who did the work? What was the temperature? I'm done. Now, if much of that information was the same for the next day, because remember, I have to come back and spray my Lapins the next day because I didn't get to them, then these buttons here at the bottom allow me to add an additional detail. So I can keep an additional detail for each day of record. This is especially helpful if like you're doing a calcium application and you're going to go back and you're going to do it every 7 days, for example. You can have one application record and then just come back and add a detail every week. You don't have to go and create a whole new record every single time you do the work. Just add another detail that shows the people and where you did the work. So I can add another detail here by hitting the Add Application Detail, and it'll add a whole blank line for me. Or if much of this information is the same, I can use that Copy button right here, and I can just copy the detail that I have selected. In this case, it pulled over all the information for me automatically. Now I can just make a couple of changes, and I don't have to enter all that information again. Same applicator, same equipment. Sure, the weather was the same too. And I'm done. So it's really easy to be able to copy and iterate your work so that you don't have to go back and re-enter that information over and over. That was the basic functionality for the application record detail. It's what most growers will do after they've had the work completed. They come in, they'll enter this information, and they'll be done. Just that easy. If that's how you do your work, that's all you need to see. When you're done, you can go ahead and add any notes, as well as validate or close your recommendation, your application record, and it'll be ready for you to share with only those packers or processors that you wish to share, or to print them for audit purposes at your discretion. You can view and send them off, or just complete the record and keep it in your file. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you to show you how you can use just the basic functionality as well as the more advanced functionality of load sheets and individual details by blocks. ApRecs is flexible to work the way that you work. Make it easy for you by trying it out, finding what works for you, and if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, or use this helpful contact section here at the top where you can chat with an operator, or go ahead and pull up a help file right here. We thank you for using ApRecs. Have a great day.